Yesterday done, right? Okay, so in today's class, we are going to start about IAM. So let's talk about IAM now. IAM is nothing but like I'll tell you one question. Like in Jenkins, we have seen RBAC concept, right? What is the meaning of RBAC? RBAC means role-based access control, not rollback. RBAC. Okay. RBAC means role-based access. This topic we have seen on Jenkins. Why we have seen this topic on Jenkins? What is the main purpose? To control the access. For example, in Jenkins, like a console is same console, but whenever we are working with different users, then what we are going to do is we are going to restrict them. What we are going to do? In order to restrict the jobs for a specific user, in Jenkins, we use the concept of RBAC. Here also in AWS console, we have n number of services or not, sir? So for all users, we cannot give all permissions, like all services. This point you know already. For all users, we cannot give all services. Why? Because, for example, if I give a fresher for EC2 access, full access, he might delete that one, correct or not? So we need to protect that one. In that case, what we are going to do is, we are going to implement this concept called IAM. What is the name of the concept? The main purpose of using IAM is to restrict the users. First of all, IAM full form is Identity and Access Management. And I have given one PDF for you. That PDF is going to have a lot of content. Basically, I prepared that for my own self. Okay. If you want to read that one, read that one. But here I want to explain this in very easiest format. So see, IAM main purpose is for restrict the users based upon their access level. Correct or not, sir? In IAM, there are generally majorly 3 topics like which you need to focus on. First one is IAM users. Second one IAM groups. And third one IAM roles. Yeah, please. What is the first thing we want to focus on? IAM users. Next, we need to learn about IAM. Next, IAM roles. So these are the mainly focused things when it comes to the part of IAM. What is the full form of IAM first? Identity and Access Management. Why we are using Identity and Access Management? To give the permissions and to restrict the user. What are the main 3 important features of IAM? Users, roles, and so first of all, here I'm going to discuss about IAM users. IAM user is nothing but, for example, let's consider a fresher. A fresher joined to our company, as well as one experienced person also joined to our company, sir. For fresher, can we give full access? But for experience, we can give, right? Both of them are going to use same console. Both of them are going to use, but experience is having full access, but fresher is not having full access. How means we are going to provide some permissions for him. What we are going to provide? That I'm going to tell you, but before that, like you need to understand the basic difference between authentication versus authorization. Already I said this point once in the class. Can anyone tell me the difference between authentication and authorization? Any example? Like I already said this point for you. If you remember, you can tell. Okay. 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 Yeah, like I'll make it more easy for you. Authentication means who can sign in. Authorization means we have permission to work. That is a simple difference. All of we able to come to class or not, sir, even including me. All we are authenticated users to come to the class. But who can teach the class? Me. That means I'm authorized. Authenticated means who have the permission to come in, to sign in actually. Authorization means who has the permission to work. I have the permission to tell the class, correct or not? So this is the best example for authentication versus authorization. Is the difference clear for all of you? What is the meaning of authentication and authorization? Fine. So now here I'm talking about IAM user. Basically, IAM user, it's nothing but when we create a particular user, for that user, we're gonna give the username and password, and we're gonna give some permissions. Based upon the permissions, whenever he try to access to the console, he will get only some resources. Whatever the permissions I have given, he can able to see only that particular things. If you want me to show, let me open my console here. Currently, I'm on which user, like Jashwant, like it's one of the root user actually. Okay. So now I'm gonna create IAM user. Click on IAM. Already I have a lot of users here. Like I'm gonna remove all of them first of all. So currently, we don't have any users as of now. Click on create user. My username is here. I'm gonna take it as fresher. What is it? Sir, for fresher, we need to give console access or not, sir? Provide user access for AWS management console. Click on this one. Now I'm gonna create IAM user. Password, you have two things: auto generate and custom. So generally we go with auto generate, or if you want, you can go with customized password as well. In real time, we will give auto generate password first, and we will give the credentials to the user. Then user can change the password next time. So here I'm telling that user must create a new password next time login. That means if I check this box now, he can be able to change his password next time. If I don't check this one, he cannot able to change the password. I'm giving permission for him. You can change the password later. Click on next. Sir, for fresher, I'm gonna give only EC2 access, sir. Which access? EC2. That to read only access. What I'm giving? What is the meaning of read only access? So here I click on attach policies. Then I give AWS read only access. Next. Create user. Is our user created now? Download this file. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to open one more browser separately. In this browser, copy the console URL here. Paste it here. So in your practice, like I will recommend you to use separate browser. Why? Because if you try to check this on same browser, your current session will be logged off. Point clear? I am trying to log in with IAM user, but my root user is already logged in the same browser. When I try to log in with IAM user, root user is going to be logged out. For that purpose, to show you practically, I am taking one more browser for your clarity. So next here, username is password. I already copied, sir. Paste this one. Now I give permission to change the password. Are you seeing this one? It is asking to change the password. So no password. I am giving fresher123. Hit enter. Password does not confirm. Okay. Basically, sorry. Basically, like here we need to do one thing. Password I need to mention capital, small, like everything I want to mention here, but I forgot to do it. Signing in now. Son of for fresher, which permission I have given, sir? If you go and see now, currently you logged in with which user here? Not your own root user. It is IAM user. How can you tell me? Here if you go and see IAM user, right? But if you go to my main console, in main console it is root user only. But if we here go, I am seeing only IAM user. So the next year what I'm gonna do is Sir, here I will go and I'll try to create some servers, sir. First of all, I'll try to list out the servers. Here, when I'm trying to go for IAM, it is telling that access denied. Why? Because I'm on fresher user. Have I given IAM permission for fresher user? I'll try to check for S3 buckets. I'll try to create a bucket here, bucket name like I'm giving some random bucket name. And if I try to go and if I try to click on create bucket, you are going to get some error. Failure to create the, why? Because permission is restricted. I gave him which permission, sir? Only EC2 that too? That means he can be able to see the list of EC2. As of now, currently in Stockholm, okay, it is Stockholm. Currently in Mumbai or in Northern Virginia, I don't have any EC2 instances. I'll try to create one EC2 instance and let's see what is going to happen. Currently here I can be able to see the list of instances, but unfortunately I don't have any running instance as of now. I can see one instance which is on stopper state. That means I can able to read it or not, sir. Click on launch instance. I am trying to create an instance, number 1. I'm able to create, sir, now? No. What it is telling? You are not authorized. Authorized means what I say? Authentication means sign in. Authorized means what? Permission. Is he missing permission or not, sir? So in real time also, whenever you go for organization, right, as a fresher, they won't give you all permissions. They will create one IAM user, and based upon that IAM user, first of all, they are going to provide you the limited access. What they are going to provide? So eventually, when you are growing up, when you are learning new things, and when you are like doing the work good, then they are going to increase permissions for you. But trust me, as a fresher, whenever you go for company, they won't provide you the direct direct root user credentials, and you don't have the root user credentials. Always you need to work with IAM user. So write this point on your own words. Whenever you go for company, they won't provide all the access. They will create IAM user and they are going to give some set of permissions for you. Based upon that permissions, you need to work on your own. Now write this on your own words. Online, is the concept clear for you? Whatever I said here about IAM user, can you please confirm me on chat once? Is IAM clear for all of you? Fine. Sir, now I just want to give EC2 instance creation permission for the fresher user. Like he is working very good, sir. I want to give which permission for him? Now how I can do it? We will go to first of all which user? Root user. Why? Because root user created IAM user. Then here I need to go to users. In user I need to select. Now fresher want which permission? EC2 full access. Now click on add permission. Now then go to attach policies, then go to, if you give admin, he can do all of the activities. I want him to only create EC2 full access. Now he got the EC2 full access or not, sir? So now if I go and if I click on retry failed task. 1 second, let me go back and try to do this one. Click on launch instance, like name and all, like not required as of now. Key pair, select one key pair. Can you able to create now? Fine. So now what will happen is I'll ask a question, sir. In the permission part of IAM user, I have EC2 read-only access, I have EC2 full access. Which one is going to be top priority now? Full access is going to be top priority, correct or not? So even though if you remove that one, EC2 read-only access, you can still able to read. Why? Because you got the full access already, right? So this point you need to remember. Why? Because at the end, this is the point you are going to face some issue. Not now, at the end. Clear now? Sir, now this fresher want to work on S3 buckets. This fresher want to work on. Then what you are going to do? You tell me the process now, I'll do it. Go to user. Currently I'm on. Add permission. Then attach policies. Then S3 full access. Then next add permission. Then can I go and create an S3 bucket now? Sure. Sure. Then can I create an S3 bucket or not now? Here, look at this one. Which permission I have given? Full access means? Full access means I can create bucket or not, sir? Sure. Okay then. Let's check it. Yes, sir. Fine. Let's create one S3 bucket here. I'm giving some random name. I don't know like what name I'm giving, but I'm giving some name here. Try to click on create bucket. Is it created now? Of course it will create. Why? Because I provide the full access means he can do whatever you want. There is nothing restriction, right? If you give read-only access, then again he cannot able to create, sir. Then what I'm doing is, I'll go to here, like I'll remove the S3 full access. I'm removing this permission. Now this time what I'm giving, I'm trying to give only read-only access. Add permission, attach policies. Here I want to give S3 read access. Sir, now currently, if I go here and if I try to create any bucket, is it going to create, sir? No, why not? Because we provided only. Let's check this one. Some random name I'm trying to give it. Create a bucket. What happened? Array man, you have given the S3 read-only access, but you want me to do the creation of bucket. How can I create? I cannot create. Go there and change permissions, then I'll create. It is telling like that. Correct or not, sir? So now he's managing the permissions for a user. Clear for all of you? How to create a user, how to give permissions for a user, and how to check the permissions on console level. Sir, now fresher want to create all the resources in my AWS account. Now which permission I want to give? Administrator access. Which one? The moment if I go and click on add permission, here if I click administrator access, he can do all the stuff. He can do whatever he wants. But remember, for IAM user, we have a golden rule. For IAM user, we will never give the administrator access in majority of the cases. If we give the administrator access, then why to create IAM user? Think the logic point. Like it is a question they are going to ask on interviews. Very in-depth question these are. Like the questions are going to be furnished like this. Can you create an IAM user and can you give all permissions? This is the question. What you will say? Yes, sir, we will do. Then he will come to know, okay, this is not the real time stuff. Why? Because if we give administrator access for IAM user, what is the what is the purpose of creating the IAM user? Directly you can give root user credentials or not, sir? So in real time also for IAM user, we will never give the administrator access. It is not the perfect thing to practice. IAM user main purpose is to restrict the permissions, right? But if you create the IAM user, but again, if you're trying to give the admin access, like what's the point of creating IAM user? Is the logic point triggered for you? You can write this point on your own words. However, you are able to understand, write that one. Is the point clear for all of you? So now you got some clarity about IAM users, right? So maximum IAM users, how many IAM users can we create per account, sir? Do you have any limit of it? What is the maximum count? 200. No, 10. No. Single time you can create 10 users. But max we can create up to 5,000 users per single account. How many? And the maximum number of groups we can create is 300 groups. This is the limitation for the IAM user and IAM groups. But for policies, we don't have any limitation. We can create n number of policies based upon our requirement. So IAM user permission, like part is clear for all of you, right? So the next year, what I'm going to tell you is about IAM groups now. What I'm going to teach you about? Sir, IAM group, like when we are going to use means, but before that, like I'll tell you one more important question from IAM point of view. Sir, for IAM, we need to give access keys and secret key also. You know this one, right? Why to give access key and secret key means this is the permission what we are attaching for our AWS EC2 instances, correct? In KOps, how we have done this, sir? Access key, secret key we generate and we give it to. So they will ask you, what is the difference between username, password and access key, secret key? Username, password is to log into the console. That means if you want to work on console level, you need to give. But if you want to work with permission level, you need to use the access keys and secret keys. Point clear? Like this is the point, tricky point actually, but you need to understand the differences. Whenever I give username and password, I can able to log into console, correct or not, sir? But with this help of this particular IAM user, I want to create some infrastructure. In COPS, we have done this, right? How we have done by using the access keys and secret keys. So how to generate access key and secret key means click on security credentials. 1 second. So my access key and okay. Create access key. I am creating for CLA purpose. Next. Download CSV file. Now you have the access key and secret key, right? You can attach this access key and secret key to any server, or you can give it to any other third-party tool as well. If you go and check for Jenkins, also we can give access key and secret key. For Visual Studio Code, to work with Terraform, also we can give access keys and secret key. To work with Ansible, to work with Docker, also we can give access key and secret keys. Clear, no? Fine, then in interview they are going to ask you a question. For example, you create one access key and secret key. If your friend stole the access keys and secret key, now he can be able to control your AWS console or not, sir? He can be able to control your permissions or not. In that case, what you are going to do? It is the scenario based questions for the experienced kind of people. What is the thing you are going to do when you lost your access key and secret key? Change how? Think logically. Apply some brain on it. How we need to deal these kind of situations. I think AWS people know about this one. If you are done with the course. Correct, like how? That's what I'm asking. Of course, you can change the, like I'll tell you. For example, if you go to security credentials, sir, by default in AWS console, we can create 2 access keys and secret keys. Create access key. What I'm doing now? Changing this one, correct or not? Of course, I'm not downloading this one. I don't want it as of now. Like download, nothing is going to happen now. Currently, how many access key and secret key you are having? By default, for a IAM user, we can provide maximum 2 access keys and 2 secret keys only. For example, the first access key is stolen by my friend. I have the second access key or not, sir? Then what you are going to do, if you delete the access key, then he can be able to use it. Of course, he can able to use it. You are deleting the access key and secret key on your account, but he already have the access key and secret key or not, sir? For that purpose, first of all, we need to deactivate. Deactivate means these keys will not work. Even if you try to use, or if your friend try to use, once you deactivate the keys, you cannot able to use it. Deactivate the current keys and create the new keys. Then it is going to work. So, like this is the question that they are going to ask for the experienced kind of people. Huh? How can he has the IAM user permission? I said that he has only access key and secret key. Got my point? Fine. So this is the way how you are going to deal with the situation. So tell me, like once you lost the IAM like secret key and access key, how you are going to deal with? First of all, we are going to, and then later delete that one. Then finally you can create the new access key and secret key. What is the limit for access key and secret keys? If I try to create, it is showing, sir. But the moment if you go and if you try to delete this one, conformly it is going to show. Delete. Can you create one more thing now? So like that. So this is about the complete user details. Of course, like if you want to see it is Amazon resource name, console access. Of course, you can put some multi-factor authentication. MFA means multi-factor authentication. That means whenever you are trying to log in with your credentials, you will get one OTP to your mobile. That thing also we can set that here. That is what you can call as multi-factor authentication. Shortcut is MFA. Next, currently for this user, how many keys I have, sir? And when this user lastly signed into the console, and when this user created, you can see security credentials, you can see how many number of groups he is on, and you can see what are the permissions also you are having. Clear or not? This is the way how we are going to manage the IAM users in the organization level. Now in the IAM part, users clear for all of you? Everyone? Fine. What is the next entity we are going to talk about here? Sir, group is nothing but managing the multiple users together. For example, let's consider whenever you go for new company, there are 5 persons. Like for example, let's consider fresher 1. This one. Sir, all of these freshers join at a single time in my organization. Now what I'm going to do is I'll create individual users for them, definitely. What I'm going to create? But sir, if I want to give the permissions individually, it will take a lot of time for them. For that purpose, I'm going to take the users and I'm going to make them on a single group. What I'm going to make them as? Now, if I give permission for the group, that permissions are applicable for the all users. That means giving permission for single individual user is better than all users. For example, here there are 10 people. So for these 10 people, like if I want to tell the class individually, it will take a lot of time. But if I make you a group and if I sat you, like if I make you set all of you together, my work is going to be easy or not, sir? Here also managing multiple users and giving multiple users permissions is going to be very, very difficult. For that purpose, I'm making them as a group and permissions I'm applicable for the group itself. Okay. Now, if I give permission for the group, whatever the users we are having in that group, all of the users are going to receive the permission or not, sir? That is what IAM group is going to teachers. Click on, first of all, let's create the users. So I'm going to delete this user or like a, let it be, fine. Click on the username is fresher1. No, fresher is the user, like I'm taking fresher1. I'm not giving permissions here. I'm not giving any permissions. Next, I just create a user, sir. For the fresher1 user, are you seeing any kind of permission? Nothing. Same like here also, I'm gonna create couple of users, fresher2 and fresher3. And one more thing, you need to provide the console access. Of course, if you miss the console access as well, like there we can provide the access, sir. Next. For example, if you see for user 1, I forgot to give the console access. But for user 2, I give the console access. Have I give username and password or not, sir? But for user 1, I mean fresher 1, it is missed. Then how to enable this one means go here. And if you go for security credentials, are you seeing here console access not enabled? Click on enable console access. Auto generate password. User must create a new password when sign in. Click on apply. You will get the username and password. Now getting or not? So like in this way, you can do it. For example, unfortunately, if you miss to give the console access as well, you can go here and you can click on give the console access. Clear, no? Now, fresher1 and fresher2 are the two users which is having 0 permissions. Are these guys having any permission? For that purpose, I'll go to user group and in user group, click on create group. I'm going to give the name as group called DevOps. Which one? Fresher1, fresher2, I'm trying to add this one. Sir, for this both of the users, I'm going to give EC2 full access. What I'm going to give EC2? This EC2 full access is going to applicable for fresher1 and fresher2. Fresher1 and fresher2 is on which group now? Click on create group. Automatically, whenever, if you want to give some permission for some user, directly if you can add this user on the group, directly permission is going to be applicable. Is the point clear for you what I said? Like instead of managing the multiple users, so in real time, we are going to group all of the users into a single group. The moment if I give permission for the group, all of the users who is a part of the group, they are going to receive the same amount of permissions. Clear now? So this is what about the IAM group. So coming to the groups part, in real time, we will work groups with very less amount actually. Like we don't work frequently. If there is any specific requirement only, then only we are going to touch the groups. Otherwise, we don't like used to work here in the groups part. And if you want to remove any permission or if you want to remove any user into the group, go to the group, click on the fresher1 and click on. Now, fresher1 got removed. Why? Because unfortunately I have added. Now, if I want to add any other some user, click on add user. Which user you want to add now? Add user. So adding the users, removing the users, and even you can go for permissions. Are you seeing this one? If you want to add any permission, you can add from here. And if you want to remove any kind of permission, even though you can remove it from here. Is the point clear for you? So now, what is the difference between IAM user and IAM group? Simple words. IAM user is to create for individual users. Group, multiple users. For users, we need to give permissions individually, but for a group, no need, right? I'll ask you a question. A user has administrator access. Same user is in the group. He has only read-only access. Which one is going to work now? Admin or read? Why admin? Top priority is always going to give the, like the concept is simple. Like let me explain it here. For example, here fresher1 is the user. Fresher1 is on a group actually. Fresher1 is on a group. At the same point, fresher1 having some individual user. Sir, whenever a fresher1 is having individual user, he has the admin access. Which access? But same fresher1 is on group, but he has only read-only access. Which one? Now, which one is going to be applicable means always admin. Why? Because it is a high priority, right? There you are having what? High priority. So it is always going to take the high priority level of permissions. Clear now, sir? That's it. Now here, the last thing and the main thing is going to come into the action. IAM roles. What we are going to speak about? First of all, what is the meaning of role? Okay, we are saying the work. Fine. Then like why we need to use roles on the IAM concept? Specific user node. To make the work easy. Not. Huh? Okay. 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 Fine. Makes some sense. Correct. Like you were talking about roles, but what exactly the meaning of role? I'm asking. Why we need to use roles? Already she said, I think so. Good point. Differentiate what? No, no, no. For that, we already have IAM user, right? Okay. Some point is missing mainly. All of you are telling the correct answer only, but the main point is missing here. Assign the permissions, not still. Without, this is the main point. Sir, in the point of IAM, users and roles are same. Users and roles are, but the only difference is user will have username, password, access key, and secret key, but roles will not have, sir. Roles will not have the credentials. Okay, apart from that, everything is going to be same. But you can ask me, sir, users and roles, you are saying that same purpose. You are saying that to use the whatever here things we are discussing about, user and roles are going to work for the same purpose. But the difference is user is having credentials, role is not having any kind of. Instead of using roles, directly can we use IAM user. But what is the point of using the roles? This is the question you need to raise. Correct or not? The main purpose of using the role means IAM user you cannot share with other people. Whenever I give IAM credentials, can you share with credentials with other people? But role is not like that. Single role you can create and you can divide to multiple people. Is the point clear? Is a very, very peculiar point you need to understand. We cannot share the IAM users, but we can share the IAM roles. IAM user is having the credentials, but whereas IAM user is having credentials, but whereas IAM roles are not having the. Once you create the IAM user, it is going to work till the project end, but role is not like that. If you want to work with only some specific day, I want to work on a specific day, I want to work on specific time, and I want to work on specific service only. In that case, I'll create the role for it. For example, let's understand the scenario. Once in a month, I want to do deployment on production environment. Once in a month. That to only particular EC2 instance only. Sir, am I doing this activity regularly or irregularly? Irregularly, right? Specific time or not, sir? Then instead of creating IAM user, I am going to create a role. What I'm going to create? This role is going to work only for few days, up to few time only, and it is going to work for only specific time. So in that case, do we need to manage IAM user? We can manage our work with the roles directly. Okay. So the only interview they are going to ask what is the difference between user and role? User is having credits, role is not having. User is going to use for all kind of activities, but role we don't use for all kind of activities, only some specific kind of activities. Create. So this is the major differences, sir. Coming to the roles, again here whenever you want to discuss anything about the role, here you need to understand like this. Are you seeing the roles here? Sir, now I want to create a role. I'll tell you in our company how we have used this one. For deployment activities, we have used the role. Click on create a role. I want to create role for AWS service. For which service? I want to create it for EC2 instance. See this one? Now here, click on next. For this role, I have given the administrator access. Which access? Or not administrator access. I have given the deployment activity. Deployment access. 1 second. Code pipeline. For deployment means in AWS we have something called as code pipeline. Are you seeing code pipeline full access? Click on next. Role name is role number like deployment role. The moment if you have the role and what this role is going to do, the moment if I select this role now, it is going to tell me that this is created so and so time. This is created for like a deployment purpose and maximum session hour. How much of time we have, sir? Specific time I am able to give it or not. For specific service, code pipeline service, and for specific time only I am providing the roles. But for IAM user, we cannot restrict only for specific time. Okay. Sorry, IAM user we cannot restrict. But IAM role I am able to restrict or not, sir? Even if you want to edit, click on edit. Sir, maximum session I want is for example, my deployment will take 1.5 hour time. Click on 2 hours. After 2 hours now, this role, whatever you are going to use, it is going to terminate automatically itself. Again, need to relog in. What you want to do? So if I give the 2 hours of session, after this 2 hours of session, it is going to expire automatically. And if I want to log in, I need to relog in it one more time. Okay. To restrict certain services for certain time. So we are going to use which concept now? Roles concept. And this role directly you can attach for your EC2 instance as well. How to attach the role for an EC2 instance means here you can see revoke session. Are you seeing this one? Revoke session means, for example, I give permissions of how many hours? But my friend completed a work on only 1 hour. The moment if I click on revoke session, right, it is going to terminate. Of course, I give the permission of 2 hours. But work is done on how many hours? If I click on revoke, automatically the session is going to be terminated. Is the point clear for all of you, like why we are using the roles concept? Sir, this role we can also attach for our EC2 instance. How to attach a role for EC2 instance means go to here EC2. And the moment if I click on instance, go for actions. And here, security, modify IAM role. Are you seeing modify IAM role? Are you seeing our deployment role, sir? Now that role is applicable for my server. Whatever the permissions I have given for that role, that permissions are applicable for the Now this EC2 is having the deployment permission or not, sir? From this server, you can do the deployment kind of activities. Is the point clear for all of you? Again, roles we are gonna use for specific time. That too on a specific services. But IAM user is not like that. We can use for like how many services we want and how much time we want. And roles is not having credentials. Have you seen any credential for our roles? But for IAM user, we have the credentials or not, sir? Username, password, access key, and secret key. So this is the point you need to remember about the roles. Where it is, IAM. So now if you go and see like here roles, whatever you are going to take it. I'm having this role, sir. For example, if you go for the deployment role and even if you want to edit some permissions, are you seeing the permissions here? You can create some permissions, you can create some inline policies and you can set the boundaries as well. Okay, like in this way we can activate with the roles actually. Okay, sir, fine now. The last thing we are going to discuss about the IAM point of view is policies. But before I go for the policy, IAM user, IAM group and IAM roles. Are this clear for all of you? Any doubts or any queries before I proceed for the policies? All clear? Sure. Either మాట్లాడండి కనీసం. Yes or no? Fine. So now here I'm going to talk about policies. What I'm going to talk about? Sir, basically policies are going to classified into two types. First of all, AWS policies. That means AWS by default gives some permissions like in the form of policies. Second one is custom managed policies. Which one? Currently, all of these are going to be your AWS managed policies. Are you seeing this one? AWS manager, AWS manager, AWS manager. That means these permissions and policies are given by AWS only. But what is my requirement? I'll tell you how we have used these policies on our real time. The thing what I'm going to tell you is this thing you are going to see on every phase of your company. I'll tell the exact point like how we have used it. First of all, you know about buckets, right? For example, let's consider in our organization, we are having 3 buckets, not 3, like a lot of buckets. 1, for example, let's consider like this. The bucket number 1 is dev bucket. Which bucket? And bucket number 2 is test bucket. Third one is like client bucket or prod bucket. Anything is fine. Prod or client. How many buckets you are having here? Sir, whenever in real time, whenever we are deploying the application, we will get some logs actually. What we used to do is we are going to store the logs on this developer bucket. In which bucket? When I deploy and developing server, whatever the logs I got, I give it to the dev bucket. When I deploy and testing server, whatever the logs I'm getting, I will give it to the test bucket. Now, developers and tester want to access this bucket, sir. Developer want to access only developing bucket, tester want access only, and I want to access all of these 3 buckets. In that case, we are going to create some policies. Why? Because I'll show it live practical for you. So let me go to AWS S3 here. So create 3 buckets. First of all, I'm going to remove this one. Click on create bucket. I'm going to give it a Swiggy dev. Swiggy dev 009988. For example, name of the bucket, like I'm taking some random name bucket. Now Swiggy dev bucket is created. Oh, sorry, not delete. Now I want to create one more bucket. Swiggy, which bucket? Test bucket. Of course, versioning I'm not enabling, just for practical purpose only, like I'm showing this one. Last one is Swiggy prod bucket. Guys, whatever the stuff here I'm showing you, like this stuff completely, like we are going to use it on real time, okay? So please maintain some clarity. For example, here I'm going to upload some objects. I'll upload some log files here, like let's upload our credentials. I'm going to upload all of these credentials on all buckets commonly. Upload. Now, in developing bucket, I upload some log files. For example, let's consider those are my log files actually. Basically, we should not upload that one, but I upload like for practical purpose only. Click on again upload, add files, and try to upload these 5 files. Where it is going? Close. Prod bucket. Close, no go. Sir, all of this having some content, sir. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna create one IAM user role for developing bucket. So dev user. And for testers, I'll create one test user. Okay. So go to your IAM users. Or let's create only one developing user, fine. So users, I'm gonna remove all the existing users. I don't want to make any new user here. Delete. I'm creating which user now? Dev user. Which one? For dev user, I'm gonna give the console access, IAM user, password is auto generated. Of course, if you don't want to change password, click on this one. Okay. Now this time he cannot change the password. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give permissions. Sir, here which permission I want to give now? S3? Read access, huh? Click on S3 read access. So now what is going to happen, if I copy this URL and if I paste it here, what is the name of the user here? Dev user. And console password, I already copied this from here. The moment if you go and see now, sir, currently we're on which user? Dev user. If I go to S3, I have given which access here? Read access. Sir, now developer can able to see what is the content inside the dev bucket and what is the content inside the test bucket and what is the content inside the production bucket, correct or not? That means, sir, I give the permission for read only. But what this developer is doing, instead of checking only his bucket, he is checking all of the buckets. It is not practically a good thing or not, sir? Then how to restrict this ones? Like how to restrict this one means basically for this kind of activities, AWS policies will not work. We need to create our own policies. That what we can call as custom policies. Which policies? So then how to create a custom policy means, first of all, you need to go to your IAM account. I mean like main user account, root account. Go for IAM here. Already I'm an IAM user only, right? Continue. So now here what I'm going to do is go for the policies. Okay. Click on create policy. Sir, policy I am currently creating for which kind of service here? S3 service. Select S3 here. And here I am going to give these activities, all S3 activities. Sir, do I want to give policy for all buckets or some specific bucket here? Specific bucket, click on add ARN. So currently I want this resource on this account only. Region, my bucket is on which region? Like buckets are globally accessible. So we need to give any region. Access point name. You can use visual or you can use text as well. I'm using visual here, this account. Access point name. Access point name means here I need to give. Click on add ARN. Now is the ARN added or not, sir? And the moment if you go for bucket, click on this one bucket. Sir, what is the name of the bucket here? We need to give Swiggy dev 009988. That means I want to give permission for only this bucket or not, sir? Copy this bucket name and give it here. Done now? Click on add ARN. That's it. So now the moment if you click on next, policy name. Policy name I'm giving it as dev bucket policy. Description is optional if you want to give. This policy is to give permission for developing user for developing bucket. Like you can write some description, but I'm not writing it now. Click on create policy. Now, whatever the policy we have created, we need to attach that policy to which user? Currently, we are in which user? Dev user. So we need to attach this policy to the dev user. So if you go to all types, click on customer managed policies. Is our customer managed policy or not, sir? Custom policy. Go for actions. Click on attach. Attach this policy for which user? Dev user. Policy attached, no? Currently we're on which user? Dev user. Just refresh once, enter everything here. The moment if we click on refresh, currently am I able to see the objects of Swiggy bucket or not, sir? Dev bucket. If I go to prod bucket, will I able to see this one? What you are seeing here? We are seeing the again test also we are seeing or not, sir? Sir, why we are seeing this one, sir? No. That's not the case actually. The reason why we are seeing means first of all go to users. Currently we are on which user? For dev user, here you are seeing S3 read-only access. Which access you are seeing? First of all, try to remove this one and check it. Go here and click on refresh now. What you are seeing here? And here also what you are seeing, sir, on production bucket, gone. And even test bucket also, gone. But sir, currently you can able to see on developing bucket or not, sir? This is the practical implementation of what you are going to see on real time. Whatever here I have shown you, this thing we have done on our real time. For developers, we give which access, sir? Dev bucket access only. For testers, we need to give. For others, we need to give all access. Now I have shown it for developing user. Can you tell me the testing user access? First of all, we need to create the test user. Tell me the process. Guys, this is going to be a real-time work, guys. That's for damn sure. So tell me the process. First of all, go to users. Create user. For user, test user. And provide the console access. I want IAM user create. And password, I don't want to change. Next. Policies. As of now, I don't give policies. Why? Because if I give policy now, I want to remove it later. Correct or not? Click on next. Or like if you want to give me the policies, AWS S3 read access. One second. Just to give S3 read. Now I create the user. Correct or not, sir? Copy this URL. Go to another browser. Paste on it. The moment if you click paste on it, right, automatically this is going to be logged off. See this one? Why? Because in a single browser, you can be able to log in with only one IAM user, sir. Okay. That's why the reason I'm using separate browser. If I do it on same browser, my IAM main like root account is going to be logged off. Again, I need to log in. So I'm gonna give it as dev user. Is the password here? Test user, right? That's the password. Click on sign in. Sir, currently I'm on testing user. Testing user won't access which bucket now? Which bucket now? Testing bucket. But currently how many buckets I have here? Swiggy bucket. Developing bucket is accessing, sir. Production bucket also is accessing. Of course, even though he is going to access testing bucket as well. But what is my requirement now? I want to make him access only which bucket? For that purpose, AWS will not give the permission to access only one single bucket. We need to create our own permission. That means we need to go for AWS policies. What we need to go for? Go to here. Click on policies. Policies are mainly categorized into how many types? Basically two types only, but majorly three types. Customer managed. That means we are going to manage some policies. That is what you can call as custom policy. AWS managed and AWS managed job function. Okay. So here I'm going to create the policy. So policy I'm going to create for which service, guys? And again, console got changed. Just before this day, like couple of days ago, I said this concept for one more batch. Console for their batch and your batch is different now. So one of the worst thing about AWS is it is going to change the console for every 2 or 3 weeks. At least one service is going to change. Of course, I am telling the concept on this console, but on future console might change. Have anyone heard of learned AWS here previously? I think you learned, right? Console is like for there and here, change it or not? It will change definitely. So now here I'm gonna select all S3 actions. I want to Basically, this is not required. Actually, access point is not required. Directly, you can give the bucket as well. Bucket ARN means we need to give the name of the bucket. Which bucket I am gonna give now? This bucket name. Previously, I give access point, right? But this time, even though if I don't give access point, it is not going to happen anything. Add ARN. Is the ARN added now? Go for next. Policy name test bucket. Sir, now I create the policy, sir. This policy I want to applicable for which user now? Test user. So go to all types, click on the customer manager, select the test bucket policy. Attached to which user now? Now is the policy attached or not, sir? If I go and click on refresh, can he able to access the testing objects now? Sir, if I go to production bucket, can he able to access the production applications now? Yes or no? Why he can able to access? Because already for this test user, we have given the S3 read access. S3 read access means it is going to applicable for all buckets, sir. Then what you are going to do? Remove this one. The moment if I remove this one, currently I'm on which bucket? Production bucket. On which user? So testing user can able to access production bucket now? No. What you are getting? Insufficient permission. Then if I go and try to click on dev, it is also getting. But on test, are we getting the permissions or not, so to see the object here? So that's it about the IAM policies. Is the point clear for you? So remember, if you want to create your own rules, AWS will not provide you own rules. We need to create our own policies. So that policy you can create from AWS policy generator, or you can create from AWS console as well. Of course, AWS policy generator also you can do it, sir. But it is the preferred method actually, if you ask me. Is the IAM concept clear for all of you know? That's it about the IAM concept. So first of all, we have seen AWS IAM users. Then later we have seen IAM. And later we have seen IAM roles. And finally we have seen what are the concepts we have discussed. The concepts clear for all of you know? That's it. So now, before going for doubts and queries, I'll tell you one thing. So basically, in the starting of the demo, I said one thing, right? This course is worthable for how much years of experience? 6 p.m. batch, you know, like Jayant, your batch. In your batch, we have a guy called Vinod, you know, right? Vinod. So basically, he attended for the interview last day. With how many of years of, you know that one? He said, so he had gone for 4 years of experience, completely fake experience. He has the working knowledge only on Linux, that too only 2 years, I think. So I'm not sure how many years. Then he applied for the DevOps job. Exactly at last day or this point of time, he called me. He called me like I was not feeling well, but even though I managed to lift the call of him, and he asked me like, "Sir, I'm going to have some interview at 5 p.m. So like, what are the important questions I need to prepare for?" I exactly said 12 topics. Out of the 12 topics, the interviewer asked 9 topics. You know which questions he asked? I'll ask you, try to verify with yourself whether you are able to answer that questions or not. From Jenkins' point of view, the person who has taken the interview, like he asked to write one pipeline with multi-stage. Can you write multi-stage pipeline? Question number 1. Question number 2 is difference between scripted and declarative. Can you tell this one? We discussed already. I have wrote this on your. If you go to your notes, in notes I have wrote this one, sir. Scripted versus declarative. Scripted is going to have. Declarative is going to have stages. Scripted is not going to have. Scripted is not going to have steps. Declarative is going to have steps. So if you read that material, you can get some knowledge there. And third one is in Jenkins. Have you seen RBAC concept? Same question they have asked. Coming to the Ansible, have we discussed about the Ansible playbooks? We discussed about Ansible roles. We discussed about Ansible modules. These 3 are the major questions they have asked. And coming to Docker file. Have I said you Docker file? Have I said you Docker compose? Have I said you Docker swarm? How to connect the swarm? How to manage cluster? These questions. Coming to Kubernetes, they asked him Kubernetes architecture. Kubernetes replica set. Kubernetes namespaces. This question they have asked. And coming to the Git, they asked the Git basic explanation, like basic comments on Git. Okay. And coming to the Jenkins, one more question. What they have asked is they asked about SonarQube actually in Jenkins. You know SonarQube, right? So these are the questions if you should enter. And like coming to Terraform, basically Terraform is not done for you. In Terraform, they asked about the modules, variables, and some locals concept. These are the three concepts they have asked. Now tell me, instead of Vinod, if you attend for the interview, how many of you can able to crack these questions? Only few people, eh? That too, how many years of experience? I suggested him to put 3 years of experience only, but he put the experience of, and like you don't believe, he cracked the job actually. And the only thing is pending is HR round. Which round? So tell me, going with 4 years of experience is that much easy? But he proved it lively or not? That is worthable. That is the reason I am telling you from day one, prepare the content very well, go to the labs. If you go to the lab, we can prepare the content. You don't believe, daily Vinod will spend at least 3 to 4 hours in the lab itself. He directly used to communicate with me. He communicated with mentors, whatever the subject he want to learn. He learned more than the subject what I taught him. Like due to his like what we call passion, like he learned AWS completely. He learned DevOps, like Riya sir. So AWS he has taken from Riya sir and DevOps from here. So and coming to AWS point of view, they asked him about VPC concept only and load balancer. Load balancer we have seen. VPC is your tomorrow's concept. Guys, trust me, getting the job of 4 years of experience and increase is not that much of difficult actually. It is very easy. But when it is easy means when you have the clarity about the tools what you are going to use. When you are good at communication, when you are having clarity, it is very easy. That is the reason from day one itself I am telling you, practice the stuff directly. If you practice that one, going with experience is not going to be difficult. And if you wanna ask more questions about this one, you can go to lab and you can find him. His name is Vinod. Like if you go to lab and if you ask anyone, they will tell his name. If you want to communicate or if you want to ask anything or if you want to take suggestion from him, you can go and communicate with him. I'll recommend you to go and speak with him once. Why? Because a lot of you are having fear, like how to get the job as experienced person, right? It is very easy. Why? Because in my career, I have trained a lot of guys which is having experience. 3 years of experience, 4 years of experience, like a lot of guys has placed it till now. And you have seen the live example as well. Okay. So even if you haven't started, I'll recommend you to start from now itself. Okay. We cannot bring back the time, right? But we can utilize the time what we are having. So I will recommend everyone to start practicing from now. By the end of the course, definitely we'll get the experience level of knowledge only. But it depends upon you how we are going to utilize that one and how you are going to get the calls. Okay. Okay then. So now any questions or any queries from your end? Certificate? Which certificate? Experience certificates, huh? And like what, like in which year you have passed out? 2022, huh? How much of years you are going to put the experience? 1 year experience. Nice. 23, you also want some work experience, huh? Good. Oh, months, huh? Tell me one thing, if you are 2022 passed out, if you put 1 year of experience, do you think you are going to have some calls? Guys, in DevOps, you have two options only. You can go with experience or you can go with 3 years of, you can go as a fresher or you can go with 3 years of experience. Other than that, if you have 1 year of experience, no one is going to hire you. That's for damn sure. Why? Because companies, like if you go for MNC, For first 1 year, you don't have any work. If you ask me, the students who sat on this class and the working employees who is working on real time will have the same knowledge of 3 years. I'm talking about. Whenever you go for 3 years of experience, like if you go and talk with 3 years of experience in company, whatever the knowledge they are having, same level of knowledge you have. That's for damn sure. I'll tell one more example. You know Shemshuddin, right? So he gone to a company, you know, that like on what we call web synergy company. In that company, like what happened is one of the guy who is working there, like he's doing some task on Docker Swarm. You know Docker Swarm, right? Hello, listen. So you know Docker Swarm, right? In Docker Swarm, like he joined the cluster, but the nodes are not activating. Then he's searching for the token. Where is the token? You know, from past 25 minutes, he's searching for the token, but he is not able to find it. Then Shamsuddin like just go and like greet him. So hi, good morning. Like what are you doing, bro? Just like he had some normal conversation. Then he asked them like what you are doing. He said that like I am trying to copy the token, but it is not working. Of course, like you are a fresher, right? This thing you are going to do soon. He said that I already know this work. He was like, do you know this work? Oh, really? Then how to copy the token and how you can join the cluster means he said one command, he copied that command, directly the swarm has joined into the cluster. He got shocked. 3.5. How much of experience? Having the 3.5 years of experience, they don't know how to join the swarm nodes into cluster. Then what kind of work they are doing, sir? I'm not discouraging them. I'm telling the harsh reality. Lot of people you think real-time working employees will have a lot of knowledge, but nothing they will have, sir. Whatever the knowledge you are having, they will also have the same level of knowledge. Clear? So that's it. Start from now till we have a lot of time. But guys, remember, after November, you won't get any calls. That's for damn sure. Why? Because from November, hiring freeze is going to start. Hiring freeze means there will be no hirings from the month of November end to January starting. I mean, like January middle. November 15th to January 15th. How many months we have? 2 months, right? In these 2 months, you won't get any calls. That's for damn sure. Not only DevOps, data science, anything, Java, Python, any kind of professionals will not get the calls on November and December month. Why? Because in December, we have like Christmas holidays for US clients, right? They won't touch their laptops for 1.5 months. They will be complete on holidays sessions. Okay. Even they are going to freeze the project completely. That means there will be no code commits, there will be no code testing, and there will be no code deployment. Simply, there will be no work if you ask me. Directly, we'll go for company and they will play some games there in November and December mostly. Why? Because there is no work now. So when there is no work, how the companies are going to hire new people, sir? For every year, November, December, January, these 3 months, you won't get any calls. So if you want to get the calls before that, start preparing from now. Till it is like October 13th, right? You have 1 month of chance. If you get these calls in less than 1 month, you are lucky. But other than that, you need to wait for till January middle. From January middle, again, the hirings are going to start. From January, February, March, hirings are going to be too high. Again, April, May, June, hirings are going to be less. From July, August, September, again, the hirings are going to start. Like there is some quadrature cycles. You know quadrature cycles? Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So based upon the Q1 and Q3 cycles, you are going to have the high hirings. So prepare. I'll suggest you all of you. Fine. So Shivam, you want to speak anything? Fine. Go ahead.
Hi, sir.
1 second, Shivam. I'm not able to hear you.
Okay.
Speak now.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, hi Shivam. Good afternoon.
Sir, I have actually 2 years of experience as a PHP developer. So right now I'm trying to switch to the DevOps. So actually, sir, I upload the profile on Naukri. So I'm day to day I'm applying on many jobs, but I didn't get any call.
No. Basically, I'll not suggest to go with Naukri, guys. Why? Because Naukri is not going to give you that much of opportunities. I'll suggest you to go with LinkedIn only. Start like making connections and start posting the stuff. You'll definitely lot of going to get some hirings. Even if you see on my LinkedIn, I am posting some hirings, right?
Yes, sir.
Are you guys following there?
Yes, I am following.
So Naukri, I won't suggest. I'll suggest LinkedIn. Indeed,
Yes,
Indeed also one of the good platform actually where you can get the openings.
yes,
Okay, Shivam.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, fine. So next, who want to speak?